Rain poured into the trenches as hungry soldiers scraped burnt flour from the bottom of iron pans just to survive one more night. Some boiled tree bark, others chewed coffee beans to kill the pain of hunger. And one desperate Civil War food trick was so disturbing, soldiers prayed no one would ever discover it. These were not recipes. This was survival. The American Civil War was not just fought with bullets and cannons. It was fought with empty stomachs. By 1863, food shortages were destroying entire camps. Supply lines collapsed. Meat rotted before it arrived. Bread turned green with mold. Thousands of soldiers were burning more calories marching than they could ever replace. And when starvation crept in, men became creative. Some of these survival hacks sound unbelievable today, but during the Civil War, these tricks kept soldiers alive long enough to see another sunrise. Number 12. Hardtack water. Soldiers called hardtack toothbreakers. It was nothing more than flour, water, and salt baked into rock-hard crackers. Some were months old, others were years old. They were often filled with worms, mold, and insects. But starving soldiers found a trick. Instead of biting into them directly, they soaked the crackers in water, coffee, or bacon grease overnight until the hard bricks softened into a thick paste. It tasted terrible, but it stopped men from breaking their teeth and made rotten hardtack barely edible. This was not food. This was survival. Number 11. Coffee bean chewing. Coffee became more valuable than money in some camps. When soldiers ran out of meals, many chewed raw coffee beans to suppress hunger and stay awake during long marches. The caffeine dulled exhaustion and distracted the brain from hunger pains. Some Union soldiers became so addicted that they traded blankets and ammunition just to get extra beans. One soldier wrote that coffee was the only warm comfort left in war. And honestly, he probably meant it. Number 10. Salt pork grease soup. Salt pork was one of the few meats that survived long transport. The problem was, it was often rancid. So soldiers cut away the worst sections, boiled the remaining fat, and turned the greasy liquid into soup. Sometimes they added weeds, beans, or crushed crackers to make it thicker. The result looked disgusting, but fat meant calories. And calories meant survival. Especially during freezing winters when soldiers burned energy faster than they could replace it. Number 9. Roasted corn coffee. When real coffee disappeared in the South, Confederate soldiers improvised. They roasted corn kernels until black, crushed them into powder, and brewed them like coffee. The drink tasted smoky and bitter, but it gave exhausted soldiers something warm to hold during cold mornings in camp. And honestly, that mattered. Because sometimes survival is not just physical. Sometimes survival is mental. That small cup of fake coffee reminded men of home. For a few minutes, it made the war feel farther away. Number 8. Bacon grease bread. Flour was often spoiled or contaminated by rain, so soldiers mixed damaged flour with leftover bacon grease and fried the mixture directly on hot metal surfaces. No ovens, no kitchens, just grease and desperation. The bread came out dense, oily and half-burnt, but it filled the stomach. And in war, being full for 1 hour could mean the difference between marching or collapsing. Number 7. Wild onion hunting. Fresh vegetables were rare in military camps. That led to scurvy, weakness, and disease. So soldiers began searching forests and fields for wild onions and edible plants. Many learned survival skills from local farmers or escaped slaves who understood the land better than the armies did. The onions were eaten raw, boiled into soup, or mixed with meat scraps. It was one of the few ways soldiers could get vitamins during long campaigns. Because the Civil War did not only kill with bullets. Disease and malnutrition killed hundreds of thousands too. And this is where things begin to change. Because as food shortages became worse, soldiers stopped caring about taste entirely. Now it was only about survival. Number 6. Hardtack frying. Some soldiers smashed hardtack into crumbs and fried it in animal fat until it became crispy. Others mixed the crumbs with water to create crude pancakes. The trick helped hide the moldy flavor and killed some of the insects living inside the crackers. Some soldiers joked that the bugs added extra protein. But behind the jokes was exhaustion. Men were trying to laugh their way through starvation. Number 5. Boiled tree bark tea. During brutal shortages, soldiers stripped bark from certain trees and boiled it into bitter tea. It did not provide much nutrition, but it gave warmth. And warmth mattered when freezing rain soaked uniforms for days. Some bark teas also helped calm stomach pain caused by spoiled food. Again, this was not cooking. This was strategy. Number 4. Battlefield foraging. After battles ended, hungry soldiers searched abandoned camps for anything edible. Half-burned corn, old potatoes, discarded beans, anything. Some soldiers even risked sniper fire just to reach food left near enemy lines. Imagine how desperate that is. Not charging for victory, charging for scraps. Number 3. Rice and molasses mix. Confederate soldiers often survived on tiny portions of rice mixed with molasses. The combination provided quick energy and lasted longer than fresh food. It became one of the few reliable meals available in some southern camps late in the war. Sticky, sweet, cheap, and barely enough. But hungry soldiers ate every spoonful, because there was nothing else. Number 2. Vinegar water. Spoiled water constantly spread disease through military camps. So soldiers mixed water with vinegar to kill bad taste and reduce sickness. The drink was harsh and sour, but safer than untreated water sitting near dead animals and muddy trenches. Sometimes the simplest survival hacks were the most important, because surviving disease was just as difficult as surviving combat. And number 1, rat and mule meat. This was the survival trick soldiers rarely admitted. During severe shortages, some troops secretly ate rats, mules, and whatever animals they could catch near camp, especially during sieges when supplies completely vanished. The meat was roasted quickly over open fires to hide the smell. Many soldiers later refused to speak about it. But starvation changes people. When the body begins shutting down, pride disappears. Only survival remains. Ending conclusion. The Civil War exposed something terrifying about human survival. When food vanished, people adapted in ways most modern Americans could never imagine. Hard bread soaked in grease, fake coffee made from burnt corn, tree bark tea, even animals no one wanted to name. These were not meals remembered with pride. They were desperate choices made by desperate people trying to stay alive one more day. And maybe that's the strangest part of history. The moments that truly kept people alive are often the ones nobody wants to talk about. Which of these survival hacks shocked you the most? And could you survive on them for even 1 week?